So about 3 years ago now, I made a video on the Canon Ages of Smash Bros. Characters. It sucked. Here's a remake of that video using mostly the same script, mostly, with new information, funny ahs. Here are the rules of the video. For one, I'm going to try to keep this as accurate as possible. I will only state theories if I have solid evidence to back them up. I will base it off canon, game canon, stuff like that, very fun. For two, I'm not looking at a character's physical age. Trust me, all these characters are good at hiding their age. It's their, chronological, how long they've been alive, age. And finally, for three, if a character has multiple versions of themselves, I will be focusing on the version that is playable in Smash Ultimate, specifically their first costume. We good? Good. Let's start this. Also, if you've seen the original video of this, I'm sorry, but also I think this is also, I've been saying also a lot, I do think this is still a good watch, because a lot of that video is inaccurate, and there's been new stuff, and yeah, so it's still a great old time, even if this is mostly the same script. Anyways, has gone in the video. Frick you. Let's start with Mario, as he and his series show both the ease and the frustration I had while making this 3 years ago. Mario is around 26, as stated in Trophy and Melee. Luigi is about the same age as is Peach, seeing as they can all be seen as babies in Yoshi's Island DS. While we don't see Daisy in this specific game, we can assume she's around the same age due to her connections to Luigi and how similar she looks to Peach. Bowser is also around 26 for the same reason, but he may be a bit older, as unlike the other babies, he could talk and walk by himself. Then it gets hard. Wario is also in Yoshi's Island DS, so that makes him 26, right? Well, according to Miyamoto, he's in his 40s. Doesn't that just ruin everything immediately? Yeah, no. Well, usually we take that as a word of God. In this case, we have evidence that it's wrong, so for now, let's just say Wario is around 26 like the rest of the characters. Then, there's Donkey Kong. Oh god, Donkey Kong. Listen, there's a lot of confusing games and lores and whatever in video games. There's Zelda, there's Kingdom Hearts, there's Metal Gear, but they are nothing compared to the headache I had looking at Donkey Kong. So the DK in the original arcade game, that's Cranky Kong, not Donkey Kong. The modern tie-bringing DK is the actual DK Jr. But if that's the case, why do modern DK and DK Jr. appear in games like the Game Boy games or in Mario Tennis? Is he Diddy? It can't be. Diddy has a tail, and Jr. doesn't. This would be fine if Donkey Kong wasn't in Yoshi's Island DS as a baby. The problem is, Donkey Kong is in Yoshi's Island DS as a baby. So is he the same age as Mario, or is he significantly younger? I don't know. Was Donkey Kong even born at all? Was Donkey Kong just a weird figment of our imagination that we all collectively had? Is Donkey Kong the answer to the universe of life itself? Is Donkey Kong? I don't know. Let's just say he's 26 and move on. I can't talk about fictional apes' ages for all my life, okay? Luminac is 17, as shown in his rundown on Wii. Hey furries, fun fact. Do you know Sonic is only 15 years old? He celebrated his 15th birthday in Sonic Generations. Sonic's a teen. You sick Don't celebrate it yet though, furry haters, because Link to the Past version of Zelda is only a year older, at 16. And before you do anything, yes, I know Zelda is a reincarnation of the goddess Hylia, so that makes her like 1,000 years old, but not really. I mean, how does this reincarnation work? She has parents in some games, and it's never even hinted at that she has immortality. As we see here, clearly different ages in different games, so yeah. Also, funnily enough, Ocarina of Time version of Zelda is also 16, so she falls in this category as well, even though they're completely different versions of Zelda. At least in this point in time. It just changed around in Ocarina. Link and Zelda were 9 at the beginning of the game. There's like a 7-year time skip, thus making them 16, and that's when you meet Sheik. Joker is also either 16 or 17, at least in Persona 5, but in Royale, he's 18. From one DLC starter to another, Min Min is also 18. Twitter made that very clear after announcement. To finish up our 18 club that sounds very bad, it's a Luminary. He's 16 localizations, but in the original game, he's 18. One year above him is Shulk is 19, as a future connected. Same as Marth, who leads us to the Fire Emblem cast. Most of the Fire Emblem characters are weird when it comes to age. Some are concrete. For example, the default Ike is 17. The problem with a lot of Fire Emblem games is they have time skips, and the other problem is that some time skip designs don't change a lot. Chrom, for example, I don't really know if the Smash Chrom is pre or post, though Chrom should be around 21. Lucina is also 21. If you're curious how that works, by them being, father and daughter, time travel. Buzz is also 21 pre-time skip. which they look different post time skip unlike Chrom, so yeah, 21 is what I'm going with here. Roy is much lower than all of them at 15. Like I said, these guys are really good at hiding their age. Also, I feel like it's safe to throw in the Wii Fit trainer into the 20 category. They look about that age. I know I said that they wouldn't base off their appearance, but besides the pure white skin, they are supposed to be normal humans and look around that age, so frick you. So, who do you think is the youngest character in Smash? Is it Kirby? Is it Pichu? Is it Toon Link or Lucas or I don't freaking know. You're all wrong, by the way. It's Dark Samus. Yes, really. We see her get born in Metroid Prime 2. She's killed in Metroid Prime 3. That makes Dark Samus a whopping 2 years old, if this timeline I found on Reddit is to believe, at least. This may change in Prime 4, but that game's never coming out, so this stands. Only 1 year above her is the fellow Linkin Park fan, Dark Pit. We see him get created at the beginning of Kid Icarus Uprising. Then later in the game, there's a 3-year time skip, thus making Dark Pit only 3 years old, 7 years younger than the next handful of characters. That being a tie between Young Link, Mega Man, and Red. Mega Man's AI age is 10, and while Red is shown to be older in certain Pokemon games, this incarnation is based on Gen 1 Red, who's 10. I know I said Young Link is 9 earlier, but seeing how Majora's Mask takes place several months after Ocarina, I feel like it's safe to say he's 10. To finish up the links, Adult Link, being based off Breath of the Wild, is the oldest character we've covered so far, at 117. If you're curious how he can look so good, I can say that, despite being, 117, he was frozen for 100 years when he was 17. Think of how Captain America or Aang were frozen despite looking pretty young. Iceman does a lot to the fricker. As for Toon Link, he is 12 in Wind Waker, same age as Ness and Lucas. I like really nice, Ness and Lucas are also 12. I didn't forget to mention that. I did forget to mention that, but I'm saying that now. Wee-hee! Huge special thanks to Alex on the Street Fighter Amino community, since thanks to him and the Street Fighter timeline, he found that Ryu from Fortnite is 35. Ken should be the same age as they grew up together. Inklings are around 14-ish. They're a species, so some are older, some are younger. For example, the Split Sisters are 19 in Splatoon 2, but the playable characters are around 14. Belmonts are weird, as the Castlevania timeline is long and complicated, but Simon is 29 while Richter is 24, as of their final canonical appearance. Cloud's age differs in different games, but in Final Fantasy VII, he's 21. Similarly, Sephiroth's age also obviously varies, but the main one is 27. Rob is supposed to be the real-life Rob toy, which came out in July 26, 1985, making him 36, as of the time I am recording this. Pac-Man is similar to Rob, as according to Pac-Man World, he's the same age in real life as he is in-game. The original arcade Pac-Man came out on May 22nd, 1980, thus making him 41. Wolf is 38, being 8 years older than Fox and Falco. Pit's age seems to be a mystery for most people, but it's actually easy to find out if you make a lot of jumps through hoops. In one of the Palutena's guidances, yes really, Pit says that he and Link were born around the same time. This is obviously a reference to their first game dropping around the same time, but I'm going to use it anyways, because frick you. I just want to talk about Pit, okay? He's like one of my favorite characters in this game. Anyways, Link is 10 in the first Zelda game. Noosus says to start Uprising, it's been 25 years since they last fought. And you add in the 3-year time skip I mentioned before, and boom, it all adds up to make Pit 38. So that brings up 2 questions. 1, why is he so young compared to Palutena? And 2, why does he look 13? For the first one, there's a couple possibilities. Maybe this is a reincarnation of Pit. Maybe Palutena didn't have Captain of her army until recently. Maybe she did, but he died. Or they just didn't think about this when writing the guidance. It's completely possible. As for the second one, I don't know. Palutena's just into that, I guess. Moving on, Samus is 32 in Metroid Fusion, the final Metroid game in the timeline. Obviously, this means Zero Suit Samus is 32 as well. Banya is over 600. I had nowhere else to throw that. Frick you. Sora is 14 in Kingdom Hearts 1. By the end of the series, he's 16, but his first costume is based on Kingdom Hearts 1, so yeah. Kazuya also ages as the series goes on, ending as 49 as of Tekken 7. So here's a big one, Palutena. Being a goddess, I've seen a lot of people claim that she's as old as time. There's nothing to point to that being factual. We do know that she's around Medusa's age, who's over 1,000, so we can say she's around that, but I can't go any higher. Still though, even if she's not as old as time, Palutena is the oldest character so far at 1,000+ years. Speaking of which, this leads me to Rosalina, also known as, oh frick, this is the first time I've sent for Rosalina. Forgot to frickin' wrote that. Jesus. Time still flies, I guess. Anyways, Rosalina. In Mario Galaxy, we found out that the Mushroom Kingdom has a celebration every 100 years to celebrate a certain comet that flies by. We found out the comet is Comet Observatory, which is Rosalina's home that she's been living on for years, and decided to stop by Earth every 100 years. So the observatory comes by every 100 years, Rosalina lives on the observatory, bada bing bada boom, Rosalina's over 1,000. Snake's age is different depending on the game, with the one in Smash being based on Metal Gear Solid 2, who is 35. Now, Isabelle is weird. I've found multiple claims saying she's 4 in human years, 28 in adult years. The human one's the one that matters. I never found a source backs up, so maybe like every single Smash League channel and take this with a grain of salt. Captain Falcon is stated to be 37 in F-Zero GX. Remember when it was simple to find stuff? That was just great. I love big simple stuff. Just simple, easy, good, easy, breezy, color girl. Terry's age changes as the games go on. They're discounting Wild Wolf since that's a different design. He ends up in the current game at 24. Pyramithra were born, for lack of a better word, before the Aegis War, which was 500 years ago in the game. I've grown a reputation as a Kirby stan. Let's really embrace that and dive like headfirst into a bunch of lore no one cares about. Kirby is referred to as a baby several times, and then as an adult. But that doesn't mean much, as different species have different ages. Like 20 is the young adult for humans, but for lions, you're an immortal god. In the Kirby anime, he's stated to be 200. And while I do think the anime is questionably canon, since it gets referenced so often, but it does get majorly contradicted in this specific area. In Kirby Planet Robot, the Sectonia clone is stated to have data going back 1,000 years. So Sectonia is over 1,000. So what? Kirby bosses are always some sort of other undying horror. It fits. The problem is, though, that she gets corrupted by the Dimensional Mirror. Mirror didn't become capable of corrupting others until after the events of Amazing Mirror. Kirby games have a straight timeline, as in no prequels or anything like that. The first Kirby game is the first in timeline, and the newest release as of now, Star Allies, is the newest in the timeline. Amazing Mirror came out before Triple Deluxe and Robot, meaning that, for this all to make sense, Kirby, Mena, and Needy would all have to be at least 1,000 years old. That's a bit strange, but it doesn't really counter anything. The weird thing, though, is Adeline, as she debuts before Amazing Mirror and reappears later in Star Allies. So either this makes no sense, or Ole really does work. Besides that, there's nothing that directly contradicts this, and the Adeline weirdness can be dismissed since it's official universe with its own set of rules. So the over 1,000 crew is Palutena, Rosalina, and the Kirby crew. The over 1,000 unless you drop dead corpus. And then there's this thing! Yoshi is a pain to research for this video. You know the Star Children I mentioned earlier? Well, Yoshi's one of them. So he's 26, right? Well, this may come as a shock, but in Yoshi's Island, yes, you play as Yoshi. So Yoshi is a species. Just put him in the varying section. Well, for one, I did mention that there was a varying section. How do you know that? And for two, Mario games treat Yoshi as if there's only one. So is that one the Star Child Yoshi or the playable one? We also see Yoshi breaking out of an egg in some games. Is that the Yoshi or another Yoshi? Why are they fully grown? In games like Mario World and North Super Mario Bros. U, baby Yoshis appear. Are those the Yoshi? In Ultimate, Yoshi has a Crafted World costume, which takes place in a whole different universe than the Mario games. Is he the Yoshi? Are any of these the Yoshi? I don't know! Maybe they're all the Yoshi, and they were all just time travelers. It happened before in Yoshi games, but that's way too big of a leap, so I don't know! Yoshi is an enigma, he transcends time, and I give up on finding his age. I thought Donkey Kong was hard. So since they're brought up varying ages, I should talk about that. The Mii's, Steve and Alex, and the villagers' ages depend on the player and who they're based on, thus meaning they don't have a set age. Robin is interesting. His age varies depending on the height you set for him. We don't know what the height this Robin is, so he's here. Before we say we can compare his height to Lucina or Chrom to find out, Smash heights are inaccurate to canon ones. Wario is almost always taller than Mario, but that's not shown in Smash. Primal Planet is a species, and unlike the Inklings, who have a mostly set age, or Yoshi, who's beyond science, they majorly vary in age throughout the Mario franchise. It also applies to basically every Pokemon for the exact same reason. They are basically wild animals, so it's hard to nail down age for them. For all we know, Pichu could be Pikachu's dad. Evolution doesn't equal age like many people think. So yeah, every Pokemon's age is varied. Except for Mewtwo, who I feel like would fit better in the next category, the unknown ages. Mewtwo, like the rest of the playable Pokemon, is an individual, not a species. Well, I mean, kinda. He is an individual in some versions of the Pokemon lore, but others say he's not. It's also unknown if he's a clone of Mew or it's a kid. It's complicated, but either way, his age is unknown. I've seen some people saying he's around 20, but that's not accurate enough for me. Bowser Jr. is strange. We know he's the youngest of the Koopalings, we don't know their ages either, so that doesn't help. If there was an official Mario timeline which would be able to pin down age, we don't, so based on his actions, he seems to be around 6 to 8, but with no concrete proof, I can't say anything definitive. Diddy's age is a mystery as well, unsurprisingly considering the mess that is Donkey Kong lore. He's likely in his teens, but that's not very helpful. I thought of scaling his age to Dixie, but I couldn't find her age either, so now we're just kind of stuck. And also, if the rest of the Kongs were hard, I really couldn't find the age of everyone's favorite singer, King K. Rool, which sucks since he's my main. Old NES games are basically storyless, so it's no surprise that I couldn't find the ages for the Ice Climbers or the Duck Hunt Dog. Really is pretty convoluted. In Metroid games, he's died and came back 50 times, so it's hard to know what to even count. But what doesn't matter is I couldn't find anything that even remotely hints at his age. Corrin's age, like reasons why people like them, is completely unknown. Well, good reasons why people like them. Olimar, I've seen some people say he's in his 30s, which makes sense. He's got a wife and kids, but that's not specific enough for me. Finally, Banjo-Kazooie. We don't know their ages. I know, big shock for this section. Really breaking new ground here. Frick you. Take a shot every time I say frick you. And that wraps it up. That's it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. I will see you. What? Did you really think I'd forget? No. We're just getting started. Who is the oldest character in the roster? You know him. You probably don't love him, but like he's there, I guess. The one, the only. It's not him. There you go. Good job. You got a gold star. That's right, Mr. Game & Watch. Let me explain. In the subspace estimary, we see that the Mr. Game & Watch you play as is actually made out of these little purple things called shadow bugs. If you read the Kirby description, it says that these shadow bugs are actually primordial, meaning that Mr. Game & Watch is as old as time itself. Now, before you blame me for saying this isn't canon for Game & Watch, the thing is, Game & Watch doesn't really have canon. He's an amalgamated version of several different characters from the Game & Watch games. He doesn't have canon outside of Smash, thus making the subspace estimary his own canon. The playable characters in each of the old Game & Watch games aren't the same as the Smash ones, as the Smash version can turn into multiple different characters from the same Game & Watch game, like the Diver and Octopus from, well, Octopus. Thus, the only canon version of Smash Game & Watch is, well, Smash Game & Watch. And thus, Nintendo's oldest character is Nintendo's oldest character. As George Lucas once said, like poetry, it rhymes. Now, I know people are going to ask some questions, like for some characters and some alternate costumes, so let me just address those right now. The alternate gender versions are the same age as their counterpart, obviously. The Koopaling's ages are unknown, but the generally accepted birth order is Ludwig, Lemmy, Roy, Iggy, Wendy, Morgan, Larry, but any of their ages is unknown. Elf is also unknown. Sora is 15 in Kingdom Hearts 2, and as stated earlier, he is 16 in 3. For Hero, Erdrick is also 16. Solo is 18, and 8 is the oldest at 20. Cloud is 23 in Advent Children. Older Ike is 20. Ocarina of Time Link is 16. Twilight Princess Link and Zelda are both 17. And Twilight Princess Gandorf is unknown. Speaking of which, I realized I forgot to put Gandorf in this. Oh frick! Okay, Gandorf in you know, frick it. I just realized I forgot to put Gandorf in this. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing! How old is Gandorf? Give me a second. We do not know Gandorf's age. Okay, saved myself from looking like a freaking idiot. Now, obviously, I could be wrong with any of these. If you know any of the ones that are unknown, or if I made any mistakes, please tell me. Please, I am so lonely. So thanks for watching, and make sure you come back next time where you'll never talk about Smash Bros. Again. I'm free! I'm finally free! Also put Banana D in the next game. K, thanks, bye. Kirby, 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 Kirby,